All right, let's get into these teams. Starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers. What an up and down season. The season that I said in an episode of Small Ball, this season is exactly what we expected, where they give you some hope and then some injuries happen and then something happened. Mm-hmm. Right now, they're sitting at a 43-win team with 2 games to go. How would y'all grade their season?
I'm going to go C-. I think you got VJ Edgecombe having the explosion of a rookie season. But overall, not having Joel consistently, Paul George being suspended for 25 games unexpectedly that no one predicted. That was just such a big blow to the whole season because before that they were rolling. So who knows if he stays on the court where the season could be right now. I think it's a very underwhelming season based on the talent that you had, and the fact that you had a big suspension affect availability is just unfortunate.
I gave it a D. Reason being is because, the Paul George thing. So the main thing for them is Paul George and B being on the floor. And you got enough of that to kind of get you excited. But then on the opposite side, you didn't get enough to do something with it, at least from what we've seen. Maybe the playoffs can boost them up if they get in from the play-in and they push a team tough in the first round or let alone upset a team, then the grade will go up. But for you to have the rookie year that VJ had that I don't even know if we were expecting, especially out of the gate. Tyrese Maxey having the year that he had, it just didn't amount to what I think they potentially wanted. And it's going back to the availability of Paul George and Joel Embiid. And this is another year where next year you have to consider Paul George being another year older, Embiid's contract, what's going to happen with Quentin Grimes. So I look at it from that perspective. And it's a little, again, we've talked about it, it's disappointing because on paper, Embiid, George, Maxey, with the addition of Edgecombe and Quentin Grimes and whatnot, this team looked like they could be solid.
Yeah, it's one of them things that, like, I think before the season started, when we did our over-under episode, I was like, I have no idea what to expect of this team. And for me, it's about maximizing the found money, right? VJ Edgecombe being that good as a rookie is found money. Even if you believe he was going to be there one day, him being this good this early is found money. And I don't feel like they maximized on that. I ultimately went C-. They even got like Dominic Barlow looking like a real NBA player in the lineup. Tyrese Maxey career year, and it's like how do we take all of those things and maximize it? I don't think they did that. Yeah,
it's tough. I keep going back and forth with this team. I'm gonna ultimately end up with a D+. I was going with a C because I mean after all the things y'all said, they somehow, some way still got 40+ wins on the season. I think that's still impressive. I think the thing that takes it down for me
is that bad though.
Is that Jared McCain got traded away, and that just did not benefit them at all. So actually, I'm gonna take it down to a D.
I'm gonna take mine to a D as well. I forgot about the Jared McCain fumble.
Same, I ain't gonna lie.
Maybe it was a win. They got under the tax between that and Paul George getting suspended for 25 games. They saved a lot of money, Mike.
They're not doing nothing with that money, man.
All right, next thing we got is the New York Knicks right now, sitting at the 3 seed. Only half-game difference between them and the 4 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, 51-win season as of today.
I gave my Knicks a B-, which I gave them some grace because first-time head coach. Part of me wanted to give them a C+ type-ish grade, but then I didn't know if I was being too hard on them because they still have a 50+ win season. Mm-hmm. They were in contention for the 2 seed down to the wire. And ultimately, a 50-win season is really good. It's just that them and the Cavaliers had so high expectations coming in that they both feel underwhelming, but then it's like in retrospect, they both still had really good years. Yeah. So I left it at like a B-.
Because I was thinking the same thing for the Knicks. I gave them a B. I think from a team perspective, y'all had a pretty solid year. It wasn't the number 1 seed that I guess some people might have projected or it could have happened. It's more so the individuals you kind of worry about that I think you might tone it down. But for a team perspective, I would give the Knicks a pretty good season. I'd say probably like a B.
Yeah, I was leaning towards B as well, just because they didn't have the season that I kind of expected. I kind of expected them to kind of dominate the East and be the team that the Pistons are being. But I can't give them anything lower than that because it's not like they're having a bad year.
Right. 50-win season, regardless of expectations, is pretty good. One of the rare teams is top 10 on offense and defense, even if it doesn't look like on a nightly basis. It's a ton of ups, also some downs. So it is one of the weirdest seasons. I ultimately went with a B as well. Moving on to the Miami Heat. 41 wins on the season, sitting at the 10th seed spot and it kind of like they might be locked here.
They got a D for me as well. Just because it was another typical type of year for the Miami Heat. Doesn't feel like much progression was there. Even in a year where they got like Jaime Jaquez kind of snapped back into what we've seen from him and what we like from him, just didn't really amount to anything, and that was a little disappointing. Did they have multiple All-Stars? Norman Powell?
No.
Or was
It was just Norman
Norman?
Powell.
Just
Norman
Norman
Powell.
Yeah, Bam didn't make
Even
it this year.
turned Norman into an All-Star. So yeah, just kind of an underwhelming year considering some of the highs that they've had.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it like a D plus, just because it was such a roller coaster. But like the roller coaster had big increases and then big drops, and like right now they're going through a big derailment to where like they fell all the way down to the 10th seed.
Yeah.
This is a team that was supposed to be sitting outside the play-in.
They
They
just
randomly went on a losing streak.
They just had a 7-game win streak like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and they
then
were
they
like
lost
the
7
Pistons.
out of 8.
Yeah,
We was like, man, they could.
They could do something.
Yeah,
They look scary.
It's a
yeah.
Pistons team. They may be a scary matchup.
Yeah, it's a bad season ultimately. I went with a D. There's also been like stuff where fans want to see more Khalil Ware, then he loses his rotation, so I think he's
Yeah.
back in the
I
rotation.
think they got a loss against the Pacers too earlier. Like, so that
You
that's
never want to
just-
lose to the Pacers.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah. You made me think that, have they had 4 different
All-Stars
in 4 years?
Jimmy, Tyler Hero,
Bam,
Bam,
Tyler Hero, and Norman Powell?
Yeah.
yeah.
Goodness.
Shout
By
out to them.
committee ass team.
Next is Jaime Jaquez.
Next is, oh my God, next being Jaime Jaquez. That's hilarious. All right, moving on to the Detroit Pistons.
A plus. Actually, S for satisfactory. They overachieved.
You ever got an
everything.
S on the paper or on a report card before?
Yeah, I'm him.
Nah.
Stop playing with me.
Is that? I thought it was like better than A blow. Satisfactory is like
Satisfactory mean you did I, but
Yeah.
S is like supreme,
Yeah.
superior, or something like
superb.
that. Superb. But
Yeah.
yeah, A plus season.
This is the team that
for-
was the 6th seed last year, and if they were the 6th seed this season coming in, you would still look at it as a W for a young team to still be locked into the playoffs. But they did nothing but exceed that, and they dominated the whole season. And they beat good teams, they beat bad teams. They just beat up on everybody with K, without Duran. It don't matter. They gonna
60
win.
wins is in play for them. They got the Charlotte Hornets game, which we'll be doing the Allcast for, and then their last game of the season is against the Pacers. They win both of those. That's a 60
We all got A,
win
right?
team. Huh?
We all got A, right?
A plus.
Yeah.
About 7 pluses on the end of that. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.